afternoon, everyone. I'm Cross Daily here with the day's news. Today marks 1 year since the disaster at the Top 10 Games of the Year show, in which a mysterious green demon attacked during an award presentation and took the show's co-host, Carbon-Based Bander, hostage. Fortunately, thanks to the brave heroics of Spider-Man, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Leon Kennedy, no one else sustained any major injuries. However, the whereabouts of Spider-Man, Shadow, Carbon-Based Bander, and the Goblin are still unknown. We may never know what happened to them, but a few questions still remain. What is the future of the top 10 games? Bander has yet to make any statement or announcement regarding a 2025 show. The world is left to wonder, where is Bander now? And when will he tell us what the best games of last year was? Until then, this has been Cross Daily, signing off.
Has it been a year already? I'm sorry, old friend.
Well, I'm here for my award.
Award? What award?
Game of the Year? Resident Evil Requiem?
Leon, that came out this year. The show is for games that came out the year before.
But it's 2026. Why would we be still talking about 2025 games?
How are you confused by this? You've gotten one of the spots before.
But that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, for the 2023 award show. You won for Resident Evil 4. Wait, what did you think you were up there for?
Silent Hill 2, obviously.
Silent Hill? No, I can understand that one. Regardless, I'm not even doing an award show this year.
Not doing an award show? But you can't quit. The people need more top 10 videos.
I'm sorry, Leon, but without Carbon-Based Bander, my heart's just not in it.
Well, then maybe you just need something to take your mind off it. Throw your time into something you're passionate about, like your favorite Kansas City-based sports team, collecting various animal-shaped keys, or throwing eggs at deranged Spanish princes.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I should put myself out there again. All I've been doing is binge-watching My Hero Academia.
Oh, I love that show, especially Season 2, where they pit all the kids against each other in this desperate attempt to appeal to the general public, and not only that, but the capitalistic infrastructure that controls their daily lives and gives ways for all the sorts of horrible people to gain power in a world that is supposed to be protected by the very people putting these kids into the paid exposure-based intern system. Plus, I just love watching these kids beat the shit out of each other. It's like an anime tournament arc.
Wait, Leon, go back a second.
To the part about all the child soldiers?
No, the fun part with the cool fights and matchups.
Oh, the school festival. It's great because you get to watch all the good guys fight each other in ways that you never would have thought possible because normally they wouldn't fight against each other.
That's it. I know what I have to do. Something we're passionate about, and while Carbon-Based Bander may not be here to help me put on an award show, we can do something even greater.
You don't mean...
Yes, we're doing it. The anime tournament arc.
So, top 10 list shoehorned into a bracket? It's gonna be kind of awkward with the amount of games.
Yeah, maybe we do a top 8? That would fit better, but that also feels anticlimactic.
You're right. Can't leave people waiting all this time and deliver a fraction of the content they're used to.
Yeah, what is this, Halo Infinite? No, if we're doing this, it's going to be bigger than ever before.
But won't that dramatically increase the length of the video in what is already a very bloated project?
I don't care, it's for the people. We'll give them what they want. The top 32 games of 2025. No, too much? Okay. The top 16 games of 2025. Tournament Edition. Ladies and gentlemen and gamers beyond, welcome to the Bander Arena. Today we welcome 16 incredible contestants, each of whom comes here to win the elusive 2025 Game of the Year Championship Trophy, our 15th Game of the Year winner. I am your commentator for tonight's events, Bander SN, and here with me today is, my co-host, Leon Kennedy.
Hey, it's great to be here. Glad we're not doing just another top 10 video.
Oh yeah, finally taking it easy instead of just adding more and more into these events and a never-ending desire to outdo oneself. Anyway, you, play, game?
Oh yeah, huge gamer. I like to go to the shooting range in Europe where these little pirate dudes run on a track.
No, I mean like a video game, like one that's in the competition, maybe one you think might win it all.
Oh, yeah. Let's go! Umamusame, you got this!
Yeah, they're not competing this year.
But I got 2 million bells on special week!
Leon, that's a huge conflict of interest. You're supposed to be an impartial judge.
Ah, that's okay. I was gonna glue that horse anyway.
Let's meet our contestants.
Oh, hello. It appears that this is the section for the families of the contestants. Oh, your sister's competing? I too have a sister hoping to win. Which one is she? I see, your sister is the one in the red cloak. She seems formidable, no doubt a front-runner. But my sister is no slouch, and I think she has a good chance this year. You know, I took second place a while back. I came close, but I was no match for Bander and his love of women that can punch his head off. And Nomura riding. So you competed too? And you took home 4th place? I'm impressed. Well, I wish both of our sisters the best of luck.
And with all that behind us, the bracket is set. The games have begun and round 1 is underway. Everyone, put your hands together for our first match. Metroid Prime 4 is obviously a polarizing game. We've been waiting 18 years for this, so it comes with a lot of expectations. But it worked out pretty well for me. I really enjoyed it as more of an action-adventure game, and less of a traditional Metroidvania. Working out how to quickly take down each enemy type, meticulously scanning through each bit of lore, and just existing in Metroid Prime again. A type of game that we just don't get much of anymore. Beyond is probably the best looking game Nintendo has ever made, and even if it didn't nail everything it presented, I still think it's a worthy entry in this acclaimed series. Pipistrello is that game you play every year that you constantly tell people you need to check out. It's so good, it's like your other favorite game. And they just don't. And I get it. I've only been right about the last 5 games I got you to play. No reason to believe another one is going to be the same. I spoke plenty about this in my review, so for the last time, it's a GBA-inspired Zelda adventure. You hit things, platform, and solve puzzles with a yo-yo. It's fun. You'll be 6 hours in and be like, holy shit, I got the walking the dog move. That's sick as hell. Yeah, that's what you will sound like playing Pipistrello. Just skip the part where you put it off for 2 years and play it already. Silksong is special. It's rare for a game to have such astronomical hype leading up to it, and then to actually exceed every expectation, not to mention that it's a Metroidvania, a genre that is never the big seller. Yet somehow this little 2D game about a bunch of little bug freaks has managed to capture weeks of my game playing time, and even kept me thinking about it months later. It's a near perfect expression of its genre, but I also think it incorporates its Soulsborne inspirations better than even from themselves. I've had a lot of these games come through my lists, yet Silksong feels far more than anything I've played before. If you mostly stick to the AAA space, you miss out on some unique experiences. Most games stick to just playing as a human, or human-ish, character, because it's easy for the player to wrap their head around. Some games have you play as a frog or a cat, and again, you immediately go, that's how a cat should move. Now, leave it to Double Fine to then answer the question, how does a tower of bricks move? Keeper shows how important game feel can be, because what the fuck can you do as a lighthouse? Turns out, plenty. Keeper constantly switches things up. It's similar to a great platformer. You're never doing the same thing for more than 10 minutes in this Tim Burton-esque world. There's moments where the gameplay flips upon itself and you're moving in a whole new way, but still feels fluid. It's a game about community, teamwork, and bumbling around as a fucking lighthouse. One of the reasons I enjoy a big new Nintendo console is because there is a big new Mario not far behind. Nintendo always has made this their bread and butter. Familiar character with a twist. the surprise, and the delight. Now for Donkey Kong, it's been 25 years. DK64 is a mess of a game, but still a solid platformer. It's cool because it's Donkey Kong, not because the platforming is remarkable. So when Nintendo's big new game is Donkey Kong instead of Mario, you immediately go back to that 90s era. This is what Donkey Kong is. Is this going to carry a new console? Then he starts breaking stuff, and then he starts breaking everything. Nintendo magic. Push a button, something cool happens, and your brain immediately thinks of 10 other things to try after. Just from that one action, you knew that this is what a Donkey Kong should be.
Ready? Oh, he was too early. I'm already afraid. There's only a single guy. Alright, I'll go.
Last year I spoke about multiplayer games having a hard time making my list, but since we have so many spots, peak sweep! The rise of the friend slap genre is the perfect contrast for the disaster that is AAA. Not to get on a soapbox for a silly game about climbing, but it's nice to see that in an era where all these companies invest millions into these massive, bloated messes of focus-tested, sterile nonsense, the biggest successes are actually these small games made by a few people who thought, climbing game but goof? Peak is the perfect expression of the genre. A casual hike with your friends, with wonky physics and funny looking characters. This is where people want to be spending their time now, just hanging out with friends.
Hey guys, I found a banana. Guys?
Bonjour, bonjour. It appears that this is my seat. Hope you don't mind. I snuck a snack through security. Well done, my friend. Are you also rooting for a family member in this event? But of course. My sister Mael is actually in the next round. But what of you two? By some strange coincidence, we too have sisters competing. It appears to be a very sister-forward event. You're right, my tiny spooky pal. It is too early to draw conclusions. We have no idea how many sisters could be amongst the competitors. Probably no more than 6. That's true. I apologize. The notion that there could be so many sisters out there without a brother to cheer them on gave me pause. Here, have a nectar. Pitan de merde.
I'm not gonna lie, I am the problem with Pokemon games. Complain all the time about how terrible they look, yet here I am still buying them. And here I am still putting them on my list. I absolutely adored Legends Arceus because it challenged core Pokemon concepts that felt like they were staples, and this new battle system goes even further. The active battles are so snappy, and it makes fights not drag on like older games would. ZA is lucky it has Switch 2 to prop itself up, and while it's certainly not a disaster on Switch 1, it's nice just having a Pokemon game that runs well and looks good enough. I'll say the interiors, the Pokemon, and the characters, they all look good. But yeah, it looks good enough while the actual game is, as always, fun as hell. Plus, the new games actually look great, so I'm brave enough to say that ZA is actually good too. When I first got to see Clair Obscur a couple years back, my reaction was, ugh, another Souls-like. Ooh, but it's French-themed. What a twist. Okay, the Paintress is kind of neat, and at least it's not just the Wandering Spirit archetype again, but holy shit, it's turn-based? Holy shit, it's Mario RPG? Holy shit, it's Ben Starr! Yeah, Expedition 33 is phenomenal. It's a clever amalgamation of all these great mechanics from the best games of the genre. And honestly, my favorite part is just shooting things. While the Picto system is overwhelming, spending time learning the abilities rewards you with the illusion that you are breaking the game. That you caught something the devs didn't think of and are stomping through their work until you hit a super boss and are humbled once again. This genre's golden era is long past us, but it's clear that there is still room for amazing games to challenge those years. Unlike its predecessor, Hades 2 is a masterwork in the roguelike genre, creating a story reason for the loop of gameplay while filling your return trip with characters that react to your runs. It makes losing fun. Both Hades games rely heavily on the source material to connect the player to its characters. If you didn't know Zagreus, you know the other gods enough. In Hades 2, you have the connection with these characters from the get-go, so when you finally reunite, you get these really great moments that the first game couldn't attempt. Like how the third boss is a corrupted Cerberus. Like, damn, free my boy. It's such a compelling reason to keep going after this boss. On the other hand, taking on the other smug, shit-talking gods in your way just never gets old. Holy shit, it's Ben Starr! It's all about the loop. Crafting your story and progression around making each part of the run compelling, it's the essence of the best roguelites, and Hades just nails it. So I'd love to say that Sonic finally beat Mario at his own game this year, but they're both kind of great, yet flawed in their own right. While Mario Kart World actually tries to do something new and doesn't quite reach the highs it should, Sonic instead sticks to the tried and true formula and stumbles a bit due to the usual Sega jank. It's a solid as hell racer with tons of flashy tracks filled with fun references to, shockingly, the Wii era of Sonic. And why, that's my third favorite era. Oh boy, Sonic and the Secret Rings track, yippee! The cross-world concept of jumping between the main tracks and a sub-track is cool at first, and I'll admit, I marked out when all of a sudden I'm racing on Dragon Road from Unleashed, and there's the Dark Gaia Phoenix boss, and it's playing the music, but it does really feel like they didn't have enough new tracks to fill a whole game. Especially when the last track is a mashup with the first three, it's another gimmick thrown in there for no reason. But it's still a great racing game. And for Sonic, that's worth a lot.
It's hard to be a rodent. Goodbye.
Yes, well done, Melinoe.
Pardon me. I believe that is my seat next to you.
Oh, oui, no problem.
I am Lord Kitamori, and I am here to watch my sister, Atsu, prevail in Bander's top 16 games of 2025. Tournament edition.
Is that so? Why, then you are in good company, my friend, as we all bear a competing sister in these games.
Well then, I pity the sister that faces Atsu. It will not end well. She is quite skilled.
It's an epidemic of sisters. Well, surely there is some end to the sororal escapades. You're right, my small creepy friend. Now's not the time to lose focus. Ah, Lord Kitamori. Perhaps your sister is quite skilled, but I am confident that my sister will prove to be a formidable foe. Best of luck to us both.
Please, your sister should hope to not find herself at the end of Atsu's blade.
Here, have a nectar.
Nani kore? Oh.
Okay, yes, I like Mario Kart World. And no, the game shouldn't cost $80, that's bullshit, but I only paid $50 for it, so what do I care? I've been around for a lot of Mario Kart launches, so it's refreshing having a game that does something different. Yes, the world could have a lot more in it, I kind of like just driving around. And all these challenges reminds me so much of DS missions. From DS to 8, the 16 new, 16 retro track thing was getting old, and it felt like DS was the last time an actual new idea was prioritized. Now it's the same basic game with an increasingly questionable roster. Seriously, base 8 was awful. Even Deluxe wasn't a huge change, and as a Wii U player, I didn't want to buy the whole game again. World having not just free roam, but knockout tour? Damn, actual innovation. It plays great, filled with the best courses they've ever made, and actual new ideas peppered in. I hope to see them add more soon, but for now, hey, it's Mario Kart, still rocks. It's 2020. The country's on fire. We don't have enough money, but Ghost of Tsushima is here, and we're okay. It's 2025. The country is on fire. We have even less money, but Ghost of Yote is here, and we're okay. The state of video games is not good. Consolidations, layoffs, whatever the hell Ubisoft is doing. 2025 was one of the worst years for the big game companies. When games are asking for $70 now, it's hard to not just escape towards indie games. Sucker Punch, despite being a big developer, is still offering the whole package. This is a world packed with not only a brilliant story, but a buffet of handcrafted side content that isn't just a checklist of chores. You can stumble upon a unique story with no collectible at the end, just a moment that shapes a lived-in world. Gorgeous vistas, tons of combat options, and actual towns to explore. It is nice to put money into a game that gives you as much back. Masahiro Sakurai is always in the running for my favorite director. Something about the way he designs games, quick snappy hits, yet somehow with enough content to last a whole generation. If you've seen these lists, you know his work is always featured heavily. Even in Kid Icarus and his early Kirby games, you see the foundation that he builds everything around. He makes the act of completion rewarding. Kirby Air Riders is a game that could only exist under his wing. It's this hodgepodge of party and racing that should not fit together, but he steers it effortlessly into a complete package. Yes, other people worked on it, but have you seen his YouTube channel? This man knows things. He gets it. Air Riders modes by themselves don't have much depth, but they sum up to a fantastic whole. The variety of combinations gives even the same minigame so many different outcomes. Top that with an actually great online, they tell you your download speed in a Nintendo game. Years from now, young adults are gonna gush over this little racing game they played when they were little, because that's the type of game Sakurai makes. Since I'm so good at explaining what makes a great roguelike, let's contradict all of that. Blueprints came out of nowhere. Basically, one person, decade in development. It's a game with a big mansion that you build room by room. Your goal is to draft rooms to get to the mysterious room 46. Where is room 46? It's probably there, but you only have so many steps. Run out, day ends, house resets. Aha! Roguelite. Except you don't carry anything over. Roguelike? Kinda. Rogue Slate? Ben Star? Where Hades packs content beyond its loop, Blueprints is only the loop. It's the game and everything you learn. You put together every detail about these rooms, which work well together, and how to utilize every bit of space. And then you open up something you've been working on for days and unlock even more to explore. It's an incredible blend of exploration and puzzle solving. It holds so many different goals in front of you that it takes a notebook and 150 screenshots to keep track of. And just when you think you've finally figured out the big mystery, the game opens up showing that you've barely scratched the surface. In a year filled with great 3D platformers, It Takes Two managed to carve out its own space by leaning into short slices of gameplay that never hang around for too long. You start a level, get your new tool, and 15 minutes later, you're moving on. Split Fiction is yet another fantastic co-op romp, this time more focused in this fantasy and sci-fi setting. Its story is not good, but there were enough laughs to be had either through the game's jokes or my buddy Trevor and I's making fun of it.
Hey Trevor, look. The helicopter.
Kill yourself.
Despite that, they just have the gameplay down. Everything you get to do is balanced between the two players, so even if you don't have the most exciting task, you are bound to get the cool thing next. I felt the game only got better as you moved through it, leading to a spectacular finale that shifted through both themes perfectly. The wacky side missions also do enough to break up the longer core levels. It's just fun, and I think I will always be down for more of Hazelight's unique take on the genre. was around for the Telltale era of gaming, but never gave it an honest shot. I watched Walking Dead and played Life is Strange, yet would not call myself a fan. When I first saw Dispatch revealed last year, I was like, okay, another Invincible, cool. It's not that I didn't think it'd be good, I just felt like I've seen this before. It wasn't until reviews came out that said, no, it's shockingly great, that my girlfriend and I gave it a shot, and I'm so glad we took a chance on it. Dispatch had us obsessed for the entire run. The episodic format is such a risk. When you actually have everything coming out week to week, it becomes destination viewing. This little indie game owned Wednesday nights. It's funny, it's heartfelt, and it turns out all you needed to do was make one of these about superheroes. And hot women.
This game is Twilight for dudes!
Shut up! Sarah also liked it! Oh, folks, it looks like Blonde Blazer is crushing the chicks from Split Fiction in between her thighs. It's crazy that we aren't cutting away to this and instead are making you watch Leon try to reset his DraftKings password. Leon, again, you cannot bet on these matches.
Huh? Oh, this isn't for the fights. I'm picking based on how many people I think are going to get drunk in the stands.
Man, they really just let you bet on anything now. And with that, our first round comes to an end. Let's take a look at our updated bracket. And now a word from today's sponsors. Mayonnaise, but it's also a Space Jam reunion for some reason. It's some bullshit AI thing. And surprise, it's Jesus Christ. Man, we are so far away from the Super Bowl when I wrote these jokes.
Cheers, mates. All of our sisters prevailed in the first round. Merci, Zarius. To all of our sisters, may their success continue in the next.
It is unfortunate, but it appears Atsu's next opponent is your sister.
With a scrumptious bottle of neck.
However, it is only right that I wish the best for both of our siblings. Good luck to Malenaway.
As to yours as well. Well said, my tiny eerie compatriot. We are all brothers in the end, so it stands to reason we should be rooting for all of our sisters in this fight. We may inevitably see our sisters clash in the end, but for now, to our sisters, and to those sisters that come after.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Kampai.
Next up, we have a special category award for this year's show. It's the award for Best Racing Game. The winner is... Kirby Air Riders.
What?
Now, on to round two. It's hard to escape the criticisms of Prime 4. It's linear, the Crystal Hunt is bland, and the desert is boring. Absolutely, the difference is going to be if these things are deal breakers for you. For me, not really. I think the crystals are silly, and the desert feels like a missed opportunity, but I don't really care if the game is linear. Not like we haven't gotten that before. I just really love the core levels of this game. The Alien and Aliens inspirations bleed off the screen, and I enjoy the companions. The boss fights are amazing. The art direction and music is superb. It's just fun to run around this world, and the bike actually feels amazing to ride on. Each weapon you get has its own effect on enemies and leads to a lot of experimentation in order to solve each encounter. Thus, with that and the environmental puzzles, this feeling of Prime is exactly what I was looking for. One aspect that rarely clicks for me in Souls games is story and character. I never really feel invested in their stories. Yeah, Elden Ring has a story, but whenever I figure out what's happening, I go, that's sick. And then I go back to fighting shit. What sets Silksong apart is how well it does both. Memorable boss fights and equally memorable characters. These little guys are just so charming, and when they do succeed, it's the greatest feeling. When it doesn't go well, it's heartbreaking. It's a story that rewards you for caring, just like Hornet. Because she takes everything so seriously, it's the perfect dynamic against these goofballs. But I do also really think about the bosses. Last Judge, First Sinner, Carmelita, the Clockwork Dancers, Trobio! They are engraved in my memory whether they took hours to beat or just one try. Team Cherry crafts boss battles like they've been at this for decades. Their art, music, and gameplay coalesce into a perfect combat theater. It's like a Smash player you desperately want to beat just once, because that's all you need, and Silksong gives you all of it.
Your sister is quite the talent, my little frightening buddy. To prevail against the great bounty hunter. It's an impressive feat.
Does Aran-san have a brother?
I don't think so, but we did have a small child named Solomon Aaron come through the office a while back. Not sure if they're related. Then perhaps that is why she was bested today. She was no match for our brotherly fighting spirit.
Fight, sisters, fight! Fight, sisters, fight! Fight, sisters, fight!
Nostalgia is a tricky balance. You can be like Astrobot, this love letter to PlayStation that uses these characters as a reward for excellent platforming. Or you can be Ubisoft's Elite Squad, a mashup of Tom Clancy hits like Buck from Rainbow Six, or Sam from that Netflix show. It's a game you've probably never heard of because it felt cheap. What's the right way versus not is a messy gray line, and Bonanza tackles this by enthusiastically trying something new. It's a new moveset, it's new enemies, it's a new partner, and yet it drip feeds you these pings of the old. But none of it gets in the way of the clear message that this is a new direction. And when you reach the end, you see that, no, they don't want to move away. Turns out, they love that era of DK as much as we did. The ending of Bonanza is one of the greatest finales in games. It's a clear message that these games can be different, but this is what DK is, and it's here to stay. It's a wonderful meeting of what DK has meant to us, and what the monkey can still show us.
This monkey is incredibly strong. I hope our cheering is enough to bring your sister to victory. Oh, she will be fine, Mael. She huffed so many perfumes before the match that Ape will have no... Mael! Bury it! Chance.
Why do we love the world map? Back in the day, we didn't have the technology to create a fully explorable space. RPGs were more than just random towns and dungeons, but an actual interconnected world. As a player, you would just fill in the gaps and it became a staple of the genre. Nowadays, the game will just do that for you. We don't have to imagine what this brown spot could be because it's right in front of you. Now, I love a good open world, but having giant versions of your party trudge around this big map feels right. It's not just the map though, it's the giant list of equipment, the dumb little minigames, the secret grind spots. It's what made these games special, and it's what Sandfall was obsessed with getting right. You can make a fantastic combat system, but if your story slogs through the same tropey bullshit RPGs have been doing since Dragon Warrior, you're gonna lose me. You can have an incredibly novel story, but if each battle wears me down more than the characters fighting, you're gonna lose me. And you can have both of these, but when you surround me with all the little details that made me love this genre in the first place, then you'll have me obsessed from start to finish.
Maya! No! This cannot be! I'm truly sorry. She fought well. She was fantastique. But when one sister falls, we continue.
Hades 1 was my number 2 spot in 2020, and to be honest, if you put it against a couple other years, it would easily have taken the gold. So how does a sequel actually manage to live up to those expectations without just doing more of the same? Well, the Hades is in the details. Not to get too into the weeds, but the work they put into this game to make each god and each boon interesting and viable for multiple builds, while also creating basically double the amount of levels to run through on top of a massive upgrade to the home base system and how you interweave these different progression systems that you never feel like you just have to beat your head against a wall to make progress when there are plenty of other avenues to explore, while also making even just basic enemies games each have their own challenge in how you approach them. It's factor upon factor upon factor, a ludicrous amount of layers built upon the original that makes the sequel surpass even an all-time great. Early parts of Yote, I was skeptical about connecting with this pretty standard revenge plot. Girl has life ruined by a mask organization and now she wants to kill them. Where have I heard this before? I explored the first area and thought, this is solid, but more of the same really. It wasn't until the second area when a new character was introduced and things started to click. Oh, I understand this game. Yote is a much more personal journey versus Tsushima. The first game was about saving your people. You needed to fight, or your whole world will crumble. For Atsu, things kind of suck, but at the end of the day, she doesn't have to be here. She wants to. This is about you, not your people. For Jin, people around you suffered, but it was the cost of war. For Atsu, it's a cost of herself, and I don't really know if I have a point here, but I fucking bawled at the ending of this game, dude. Oh my god, this game broke me. It's fucking awesome. You are ripping dudes apart with all manner of sharp objects, but as soon as the final boss concluded, oh my god, I am sitting there at 2 in the morning, huddled in a blanket, just sobbing. It's a great game.
How long has it been since you last took off the armor?
No! Atsu! Doshite! Oui, my ghostly ami. While she may not have won it all, Mael knows how proud I am that she made it so far. And I believe that Atsu knows that of you as well.
You are correct. As our sister's fight is not over yet, I will channel this pride into our remaining siblings. Kami, Kodama, may your sisters see victory once more.
Appreciate it, brother. Here, have a nectar.
It may not look like it, but Blueprints was actually the best co-op game that came out this year. Huh? Co-op? You're just walking around a house. Where's the co-op? Well, turns out, keeping track of every little detail about the game in your head is too much. Turns out having someone next to you to bounce ideas off with, theorize about where things are leading to, and then take notes on everything is pretty fucking rad. Blueprints was a very special experience for my girlfriend and me. We just got this new puppy and we were basically stuck at home during most of the day, and Blueprints was what made that time fly by. We'd pour ourselves into this mansion, day by day keeping track of anything that stood out to us, slowly piece together the story, text each other ideas during work, and then race to try them out later that day. Then we finally got everything to line up just right to get that run up to room 46, only to find out we had so much more left to do. While anyone could easily go at it alone, having someone around to tackle this never-ending puzzle made this game that much more memorable. Ever since the MCU took off, we've been harassed by superhero media. Some are the greatest event cinema of all time, and some are Kraven the Hunter. There's a lot, and it's not shocking that we saw adaptations of the more satirical superhero media. 2009's Watchmen, The Boys, Invincible, commentary on what a superhero society would actually feel like. Not amazing feats of bravery, but state-sponsored tools of propaganda and profiteering. Cynical is the word. And while I do enjoy these mixed in with the usual fluff, it does start to feel stale. Take superhero tropes and mash them with dirty jokes, violence, and capitalism. Dispatch felt like it would fall right in line. Surprise, it isn't just another superhero bad story. They're actually just normal people doing a normal job for them. It's not mean-spirited, it's actually relatable. Like, you probably work with people like them every day. And that's why the story works so well. It's hopeful, it's about second chances and teamwork, and a lot of dirty jokes. Dispatch is a reminder that this genre can be more than just bombastic roller coasters or gritty mockery. It can just be people doing their best. Okay, now turn left there and go in the pump room, and you went into the hall, and I don't know, it's completely changed since Punch-Up was there. No, don't just gun it, you're gonna run out of steps. After what was truly a harrowing second round full of nail-biter fights and heartbreaking upsets, we now move on to our final four. I'm sure we are eagerly awaiting another 20 minutes of me talking about the same games over and over.
Psych! It's the last round. It's the final four. It's a free-for-all. Let's get it! Woo! Let's go, sisters. Yeah, let's go. Delicious nectar.
Whenever I craft these top 10 lists, there is usually a fine line between what I'd say is an all-time great and a game that just made the list. For example, in 2023, I would say pretty much every game in the top 10 was an all-timer. Each game sat at the peak of their genre and will likely be influential for a lot of games that come after. Contrast this to 2021 where, maybe the top 3 are in that spot, and the rest are still great games, but maybe not hanging with the best of all time. And this is sort of how I judge if a year is great. This year I gave myself the challenge of doing a top 16, and let me be clear, that didn't mean I beat 16 games and ranked them, that's beat enough games so that I pick 16 that actually deserve to be on the list. I probably beat around 28 games with a handful more that I played a lot of but didn't quite finish. Now I'm not going to give a specific number on how many of these are all-timers because you need a little bit of time to let things settle. What I will say is that when crafting this list, it became very clear what this top 4 was going to look like, as they could all easily be Game of the Year in their own right. Hell, I think a few games beyond the top 4 could even be there if these 4 weren't in their way. What it means to be number 1 usually comes down to 3 things. If it's the best in its genre, if it's innovating in ways I've never seen, or it's just a sequel to some crap I played when I was 10. So I really do mean it when I say these could all be up there, and all of them have a shot at number...
Now you die.
Oh shit, we gotta hurry this up. I talked before about how Bonanza needed to break new ground for DK games. There was a long legacy of amazing games here, but Bonanza manages to do something new while also respecting the old. But it's not just a new Donkey Kong game, it's the Switch 2 game, wildly agreed to be the reason you get the console year 1, and it's from the Odyssey team. Mario Odyssey is the greatest 3D platform of all time, and to be honest, I still think it is. But Bonanza manages to take the freedom of movement Odyssey started and take it even further. Bonanza is the innovation. Where so many platformers lay everything out in front of you and tell you to go, Bonanza puts no walls in front of you. Everything is a tool to get you to your goal, and it's up to you to make your own path. Even just a simple enemy can be taken down in 10 different ways. It's the same approach that they took with the recent Zeldas. Solve the problem however you want, the fun is up to you. Roguelikes are kind of cheating for game developers. Imagine making a game where there is essentially an infinite amount of content, going through the same levels, the same bosses, and the same builds over and over again. It's the indie version of a live service. I love having a game that is able to keep secrets from me even 70 plus hours in. Hades 2 is the greatest roguelike of all time. A game where the developers imagined every angle a player might play and planned for it. They wrote the most unique dialogue for moments a fraction of players will find, but if a player got themselves to that point, it needed to be there. There are moments where bosses will complain that you haven't fought them in a while because you've been busy doing other things. It's an insane attention to detail. I probably spent a quarter of my winning runs using the same build just to see how much stronger I could get, and the game reacts just the same. I probably would have to spend another 100 hours if I ever wanted to see everything, and to be honest, after this is all over, it's probably the game I'm going to be going back to the most. But that's the beauty of the roguelike. If it's your first run or your 100th, the game still has something new to show you. So obviously if Hades 2 is the best in the genre, Blueprints is the innovation. Combining interweaving puzzles into the rogue structure means you're not going through a run to just bring some upgrades back. You're going through to learn how to get further. You open up a brand new room, see a symbol that reminds you of something that stumped you hours ago, and now you know exactly what to do when you get back. But not only that, you also finally got an item you needed to move something else into place, and if you just get that one more door leading this way, you might be able to get further than you ever have before, and holy shit, how deep does this go? It really is never ending. It's a puzzle that, while never quite feels solved, constantly pushes you to seek more and more until you finally open that door. Oh, and there goes Donkey Kong. Like a master of clues, Simon did it not in the library, but with the library. And it's down to the last two games, a duel between polar opposites of the same genre. Does it go to the pinnacle of the acclaimed Supergiant Games, a culmination of decades of work refining their craft, or the newcomer, Tonda Ross, whose homage to the Great Myst series has breathed new life into puzzle games, sitting up there with The Witness and Outer Wilds, the game that takes centuries of myth and literature and wraps it into a tragedy about revolution and generational trauma, versus a complete alternate history of countries and geopolitics intertwining into a story about revolution and, generational trauma and, wait, look!
Hello. Pleased to meet you. Now die already. Coward.
Simon's down! Illinois is going for the trophy! If she could just reach it, then this is all over!
Shaw! Out! Return to Shadow now.
Out of nowhere! It's Hornet! So, number one this year came down to these two. The greatest roguelike of all time, and the greatest Metroidvania of all time. A title that would probably get me jumped in certain subreddits. Picking the best between these two is kind of pointless in the end. You're basically just saying which genre you like more. And if I'm being honest, both games are really hard. You can make Hades easier, but I went for the base difficulty, and even without the modifiers, I was getting beaten back. But I did get through it. Silksong is on a whole different level. This game has made me fall in love with these difficult games. I've already started playing a few 2026 games on hard mode because of it, and I think this is the year I'm really going to start working my way through my From backlog. So many nights I remember just beating my head against a boss in this game for hours on end until I finally made it through. The brilliance of this game's bosses is that you usually don't get through them with one hit point left. No, by the time you actually win, you have completely solved every single move these things throw at you. It's a dance at that point, and the boss has until the song ends to live. The final boss of Act 3 is one of the best ever made. I decided not to use any tools in that fight and just focus on the basic attack. It made it harder, but I really wanted to take on that challenge. I probably spent 4 hours on it, but at around 2 a.m. on a random weeknight, I finally did it. The ending of this game is so special, not only cementing Hornet as one of the best game characters ever, but connected these two games in ways I honestly didn't think they would do. I started playing Hollow Knight on and off since its release on Switch in 2018. I probably would get a few hours in every so often throughout the console's lifespan. It's not that I wasn't enjoying it was just hard, and I knew I would give it a more serious try when Silksong got its release date. So, color me shocked when, all of a sudden, I had 3 weeks left. It was time to shit or get off the pot, and I shat, make no mistake. Literally 2 days before the game released, I finally finished what would be a 7-year-long journey with this little indie game. It's an amazing game that captures the idea of getting lost so well. You spend hours running through these caves, desperate to find something to help you make sense of it all. Be it a map, a tool, or even an enemy that tells you that at least something must be here. I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome or excellent level design, but you really start enjoying running around the same place, slowly pushing further and further from the safe areas into the unknown. Learning to love the world around you is the essence of a Metroidvania. And if you're willing to put up with how brutal this world is, you must feel something about it. Hollow Knight is special, and immediately jumping right into Silksong was honestly the best way for me to play these. The difficulty conversation is always hard to be objective with. Everyone's gonna approach these games differently. It's like swimming in the ocean. Some people are gonna be pushed back by the waves, and some will gracefully glide over them. For me, I don't think I've ever played a game as well balanced as this. They took the core ideas of Hollow Knight and opened up every single aspect of it. The scale of the map, the amount of unique enemies, the range of characters you find and interact with, even just with Hornet herself. Her animations and movements are so much more elaborate than the Knight, and it's reflected so well in their characters. The The knight is a vessel, a blank slate with no discernible personality, so his movements are kind of stiff. While Hornet actually has a voice, and she is so nimble and so quick, and kinda looks like she enjoys fighting, she's cool as hell, and for a genre so embedded in timeless classics, it's amazing to see a new face leave such an impression. Hollow Knight Silksong is my game of the year. I spent over 100 hours between these two games grinding my way through this incredible world that Team Cherry has crafted. It is not a game that I would recommend everyone play, but if you're willing to take the challenge, it is one of the most beautiful pieces of art you can experience. It is a story about the dangers of blindly following religious authority, or even just authority in general, and how much it will stomp down the people it promises to help. But in the face of that oppression, people can come together to help overcome even the worst environment imaginable. It talks about passing down a legacy, finding your purpose, what it means to exist, and of course, generational trauma. And yes, that you can accomplish so much if you have your brother by your side. Seems like a lot of games doing that though.
Get the...
And our winner is Hollow Knight Silksong!
Why, my minute scary chum, she did it! Hornet is champion! Game of the year! Bravo, Hornet, bravo! Omedato! But anyway, I'm so proud of you. Honestly, not too upset that we got the same place. But proud is the prevailing emotion.
Brothers, we've prevailed. Our voices reached the hearts of our dear siblings. And while only one came out on top, we are all winners today.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Thank you all for joining us for a fantastic display of athleticism, wit, and definitely no predetermined bracket. Isn't that right, Leon?
Yeah, nice to see a bench warmer get their chance to shine.
What?
I mean, we'd like to thank all of our competitors today for their outstanding achievement, even the ones that didn't quite make the cut. Even if they weren't recognized here, we know that behind even the worst games, there are still human beings with a love of art and play behind each and every one of them. Everyone sets out to make a great game, and we are lucky to be able to see so many spectacular ones here today, Bander.
Wow, Leon, that was beautiful. I'm touched. Was this planned or?
No, I was just trying to stretch this out as long as possible because my bet was that this video wouldn't come out until April.
Oh, motherfucker.
Hey, you. Finally awake.
Oh no!